When the majority of people think of the vampire, they think of a monster, a creature that stalks the night in search of living blood. Some think of an attractive aristocrat, dripping with sex appeal and with enough wealth to make all of their dreams come true, if only they are worthy. Others think of a proto-zombie, compelled by their hunger to prey upon others to sustain their undead existence. Some may combine two or more archetypes. No matter how the vampire is viewed, the vampire is universally a symbol of transformation. Whether in the folkloric sense of the unfortunate dead reanimated by some pathos to seek the blood of the living, or the vampire of fiction, debonair and eternally beautiful, we have a creature that is the result of a fundamental transformation. I believe that in reference to the modern living vampire, we have a similarly powerful vehicle for transformation. The vampire is a liminal being, placed somewhere between light and dark, life and death. An otherwise normal person experiences impulses or drives that compel them to view themselves and the world around them in a different way. This theme of transformation that allows one to walk the line between two extremes is mirrored in the shamanistic practices of native people all over the world. The shaman, medicine man, or whatever they are called in a given culture, refers to someone that is inherently special, has a link to the other world, and exists to take care of the spiritual needs of their community. In the majority of traditions I'm aware of, the spirit worker was usually, but not always, a hereditary position, and also usually required a severe illness, near-death experience, or other type of spirit quest to fully initiate them and awaken their abilities. This has parallels in the awakening narrative that exists within modern vampire culture. Not only does the origin story have parallels, but so too can the function. With some exceptions, many vampires feel that they have a greater awareness of subtle energy, spirits, and magic. There are whole vampire traditions and organizations built from magical and spiritual practice. Whether through nature or through association, these vampires deal with the subtle side of reality. Now the real question is, what do they do with it? Many vampires use their spiritual or magical practice to help them deal with their condition, either through feeding, charging items, glamour, or any other of the ways subtle energy work can be used to make life easier. What one very rarely sees, but is being talked about more, is how a vampire, sufficiently experienced, can be a catalyst to help others. The practice of cycling vital energy is one that is very familiar to psychic vampires especially, but also to anyone that deals extensively with energy work. The process of cycling helps one to refine subtle energy in an alchemical process of distillation to make it more pure and concentrated, therefore more suitable for use by the vampire or energy worker. Cycling can also break down blockages that are impeding the overall flow of energy in the subtle body and causing various psychological or other problems, similar to an increased flow of water breaking through a blockage in a stream or pipe. Vampires and energy workers can cycle the energy of others just as they can their own energy. Through these means, the vampire can help remove energy blockages in a person by feeding from their energy, cycling it, and then returning it to them. Energy can even be consciously cycled by both people through one another at the same time if the other party is also an energy worker. Both parties benefit from this type of exchange because the refined energy is more sustaining to the vampire and is purified for the donor. Even strictly sanguinary vampires participate in this kind of purification if we change our perspective a little and consider the practice of bloodletting. The theory was that by bloodletting, one was draining impure fluids from the body. In the West, this was used to balance the humors when humor theory was still practical medicine. Bloodletting was a popular treatment for ailments in vastly different cultures in human history until the 20th century. Bloodletting is still practiced under the name therapeutic phlebotomy to treat specific diseases related to the liver and blood, such as hemochromatosis, in order to deplete the body's iron stores. Even in a non-medical context, loss of blood stimulates the production of more blood, provoking regeneration and renewal of the body, or at least parts of it. Blood donors offer their blood of their own free will, usually because of how it makes them feel. They derive emotional, and in some cases physical, gratification from the act of giving blood to a vampire. If they did not gain at least a perceived benefit from it, they would most likely stop doing it. The vampire-donor relationship is not one-sided, whether it be blood or energy that is being donated. Though we feed to satiate ourselves, whether energy or blood, our feeding allows room for regeneration. We can consciously choose to become more than just our appetites, and instead choose to be agents of transformation and change. Just as the wildfire clears dead brush and litter, it opens the way for renewed growth and vitality. The vampire is usually seen as the embodiment of hunger, but what if the vampire is actually the embodiment of change? If change is inevitable, are we not responsible for guiding our own transformation as best we can? If we take the theme of change and transformation beyond the physical or subtle body, how might the vampire continue to be an agent of change in a social sense? We make choices every day, choices that determine the people we become. Perhaps one of the gifts of being vampire is knowing that our choices are part of our ongoing transformation and having the presence of mind to choose as wisely as we can to become the people we want to be.